Reach down your head. Reach down your head. Lord, to rescue you. Mighty Lord, turns my enemies. Rescue you, my strength, my I will shout and sing a song to you. God, you the one who gives victory. You the one who is told to me. Ask and to be getting you. Oh, seek and you will find. Now the door will be open to you. And leave your past behind. Praise to you, Lord. Praise to you, Lord. Is man that you care for him? What is man that you carry like a breath, just a whisper in the wind, just a whisper in the wind. Seeking for the truth. So we will shout and sing this song to you. God, you the one who gives victory. You the one who is taught to me. Ask and to be getting you. Oh, seeking you will find. Knocking the door will behold you. Leave your past behind. Hallelujah. 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 Reach out your hands until the rescue me from the mighty one who sends my enemies. I look to you, my strength, my rock, my God. So I will shout and sing this song to you. Oh God, you is victory. You are the one who taught me. Ask and Seeking will find, knocking on the door will be open. Leave the past behind. Hello. Checking to see if it should be working. I think so. I think I needed to, darn it, I was going to use the Medicam microphone. Hopefully that sound was a lot better than usual, but I think it might have been feeding through my microphone. Hey, how are you? To all of the socks of Sam in the chat, unknown author being one. What a Christian way of communication. Eh, Robbie? I don't understand what that means. What is it? What a Christian way of communication means? I'm responding to a public video that was made by you, Sam, right? So we're gonna try and I'm gonna use this as the primary, and if I choose to keep this video up, I will edit it down, I guess is my likely feeling, because I breezed through this video before, and there were, hey Matt, how are you? There were 3 things that it took 21 minutes for Sam to get to, and Sam, you were mostly nice, so that was good. That I could tell. I think the idiot count was short. We can try and count it along the way. Now that I'm thinking about that, how many ad homs you throw in? See if we do that. I'm feeling pretty tired right now, though, so I had to pick up my son from school, so I have a little early time. I figured before we're gonna go and work out tonight. Oh my goodness! So let's see the ad hom count. We're ready to count as we go. There are very few, I think, if memory serves, as I was going through. And it's a little bit after 4:20, and you know what that means, Sam, right? It means it's time to drink a little glass of water. I don't think I'm feeling sick as much as this daylight savings time trying to kick back in. So, you know, I'm waking up at like 5 in the morning. And so it's difficult. But from the get-go, you're gonna, this is why I decided to do it in this manner, because there's just so much that is very difficult to understand that maybe Sam can clarify. I'll try and get to the 3 when he gets to the 3. Here we go.
Sorry about that. I'm kind of what?
Oh, except that it's going in multiple levels. So let me see if I can shut this off first. Come on, man, you can. Just go and talk to the guy, dude. Why don't you tell him to come in, unknown author? Sam, everyone knows you're a known author. You're a horrible troll. All right. But I wish that, let's see, hopefully it's not going to double up on me. Let's try it again. I'll try and figure out why it's doubling up.
1 minute late.
I have no idea why it's doing that. Should have tested this before I started. Now you know why I'm going to edit it. Should be no reason why it's doubling up the sound. I've got to listen to it there. Maybe if I mute, no.
I only have one cat inside, but you know, there are many cats outside. So let's see.
We'll make it sound like he's God.
Video. Let's go addressing greed. Robbie's defamation and slander.
Defamation and slander.
Let me just make kind of clear from the start, right off the bat, that where and how certain domains were pointed to is quite irrelevant.
Now, you heard and how certain domains are pointed to is quite irrelevant, right?
I thank you for explaining, Robbie, about how domain forwardings work and stuff like that. However, you have missed out on many parts such as organization. Such things as to be, but have to be automatically propagated.
Now, what did he just say? Your guess is as good as mine. Let's listen to it again.
Organization.
Okay. When he talks automation, I think he means that he registers a domain and it automatically directs somewhere that he has no clue, which is a lie. If he's meaning that. So maybe he's not meaning that. I don't know why the echo's there. Can't tell you, Sam. I really don't know. I can't see that there's any other window that's open. So let me check the settings one more time. Oh, maybe this. Huh? No. Maybe this will be better. Let's see if you can hear me still. Let's see if this works.
Such things as
no, it's going to be like he's going to have to talk to God like God. So it didn't make any sense what he just said, other than automation might mean he's trying to indicate to you that he had nothing to do with where the domain's pointed. But I think as we go along here, and it's a point that I may forget to make, but it's important at the beginning. Pay attention to where he says, I'm a liar. I think the silence is most important. He doesn't accuse me of being a liar for saying that he owned the domains. He doesn't call me a liar for saying that, for saying that they pointed to pornography. Let's keep going. But pay attention to what he doesn't say. Hi, Sister Sunshine.
Parts such as organization. Such things as to be.
Certain things as to be
have to automatically propagated.
Certain things have to be automatically propagated. I don't know, Sister Sunshine. I wish that I could have a better sound situation here. So that's what's most annoying. Maybe if I feed it through Minicam. I'm going to edit this later. But maybe if I feed it the audio through, and that might be, maybe Minicam is still open. Maybe that'll be the solution, I sure hope. Let's see. Minicam is still open. Okay.
Propagated. So, like, especially if you're talking about like many domains, like, you know, if not hundreds, or if not thousands even.
I really don't know where he's going here either. I think he's trying to say he owns hundreds or maybe 1,000.
So we're not just talking about one domain person.
So he first starts about how it's irrelevant, and then talks about it.
And also, we're not just talking about one particular certain like traffic provider.
And he says we're not talking about one particular traffic provider, but what he has said and admitted to in the past is Traffic Z even had some form of ownership in it, that we are talking about one provider before who he had used to forward his domains. And he was using a provider at the start of the year when it was discovered. So clearly he was using one provider who would forward his domain to a carousel of links that involve pornography. And it's a non-question now. It's a confirmed truth that is the case.
Now, what I'll be talking about will be false accusations and lies, and slanders and defamation, saying that, I am a pornographer. So I dug up the definition.
This is what I showed him already, which is pretty funny.
Pornographer. And it says a person who produces or publishes pornography. So I wanted to dig up what pornography meant, because
which is what I did.
I don't want to publish or produce something that is not, that I don't even know. So I looked up pornography. It says noun, printed or visual material containing the explicit description or display of sexual organs or activity intended to stimulate erotic rather than aesthetic or emotional feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So when I read that, what my guys did or what I did had nothing to do with this definition.
So here he goes again, obfuscating. That's a good word for you, Sam. You can look that up, and I expect you'll probably be using it soon. You're talking about your guys or you. It's you. And I showed it's very simple that you forward domains on a whim, and you're not calling people in order to do it. It's a very simple process. That was the purpose of my video. So we can get into the definitions of what you say. I'll let you keep talking and dig your hole.
So I'm pointing out the fact that you have falsely accused me, saying that I am a pornographer.
Falsely accused. All right, we'll get into it.
And that, that sort of slander and defamation should stop. Unless you have certain things to present.
I've presented everything, Sam.
Second thing.
All right, so since that's the first, he'll reiterate it later. He read what a pornographer, the definition is, and I will say in admission that it is a slight hyperbole in the sense that I don't claim that Sam is Larry Flint. But again, if we look at the definition of pornographer, it includes the people who publish it, or I should say produce it first, which is not Sam, as far as I know, and who publish it. And to publishing, where Sam wants to try and eke his way out of his involvement with pornography is to say, I didn't publish it, in the sense that really he means I didn't produce it. And he didn't actively take all of the efforts to take what was produced and digitize it and put it online. He didn't do any of that. But what he did do is he paid for a service, or at least got into an affiliate situation where there was the potential. He says he didn't make money, but there was the potential that he could make money on anybody who clicked the links. Now, I highly doubt that he didn't make money on it. That seems to, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And if that's the case, then he might have a lawsuit against the people that he hired to affiliate with, because, and I say this because if the Roar Reed channel that Thick Shades admittedly created with a pornographic situation of with me, a picture of me next to a woman masturbating, those, he got 1,000 subscribers, which is more subscribers by like 10 times than he has now, because people go to xvideo.net. And so with that many people going to the domain and seeing the pornography that was there, in particular, webcam chat rooms was one of the ads that was circulating at xvideo.net at the beginning of the year. Let me just keep going. Back to being a pornographer and publishing. I tried to think of a good idea. Like, I was going to get a newspaper like the LA Times, and I was going to, sorry, let me take it off. A newspaper like the LA Times, and I was going to have it a copy, and you know, we don't have a lot of newspapers anymore. And I was going to cross out the words LA Times and call it the Robbie Reed Times, and then hand it to somebody. Now, when I do that and I put my name on the newspaper, it's still the LA Times that produced it. It's the LA Times that published it. When I put my name on that newspaper and I hand it to somebody else, I have now become a publisher by definition. Sam read the definition of publisher. It's basically passing on information. It's publishing it. It's making it available. That's what I do if I put my name on it, even though, you know, and that would be illegal because I'm violating their copyright. You'd have to do something like that with permission, or, you know, out of the goodness of your heart, in the case of Sam saying that he had good intentions with pointing pornogirls.net to me. But I thought further of what a good example would be in the digital world, because we are talking about digital world and it is a little bit different. But the best example that I had is a tweet and a retweet. Now, let's say that somebody defames Sam, as he claims, and says, let's say that I make a tweet that says, Uncle Sam is a pornographer. Now, Sam says that's slander, and it's defamation, and it's actionable because he says it's not true. I'm not a pornographer. And I just showed that it meets the requirement. I'm still doing it. And let's say Sam's friend Bruce has a Twitter account and he retweets my tweet that says Sam is a pornographer. Is Bruce, here's the legal question of the day, is Bruce also similarly responsible for the defamation by passing it on? It's a good question. And the answer would be, if it was defamation, yeah, I would say both would be actionable. The retweet is a republishing of the original tweet. So that's the best example that I could come up with as a comparison to someone taking their domain. That's not, let's say that narcosxxx.com, the game that that was advertised on Pokemon.net in the circle. It was about 4 pornographic websites that were being advertised on Pokemon.net. Narcosxxx.com was one. They published all that stuff. They created the game. But as soon as Sam affiliated his Pokemon.net domain to that content, in the same vein as the LA Times becoming, you know, as I said, or the retweet, he is republishing. He is providing a new mechanism to publish that pornographic content. Ergo, as Sam likes to say, publisher, pornographic content, pornographer. You don't produce it, but I know you don't like it. That's what's being said, but that's just by definition, that's what it is. What can I tell you? I'm glad you're not doing it anymore. So if I refer to you as the pornographer or the porn king now, I never called you porn king before you had said that I did. So then I followed up and said, all right, you're the porn king. You're not the porn king. You don't. You're not a. I mean, other people are doing the porn. You're just trying to piggyback. You just tried to piggyback on it. You don't anymore, and I suspect you might in the future. Uh, a known author says, I'm trying too hard, Robbie. I'd like to know who you are. I think you're Sam. You say that you're not, but you won't reveal who you are. I think Poe is Sam. The only two that maybe it's Bill, and it could be because it might be, it's drinking time up there in England, I think now. It's like 1 a.m. So Sister Sunshine says, before we continue on, if there are any domains pointing to actual pornographic content, then I would guess it falls under facilitating, not producing. It's right, but you're using the word facilitate, which is, making it available, which is fine. That's also called publishing. If you have a domain, even though it forwards, people don't go to a domain and say, ooh, where it's going to forward. And this is what I tried to say in the last video that Sam allegedly addressed, is that every domain forwards somewhere. Every one. A domain is nothing by itself. When you register it, it has no content. And the only way it has content with your registrars usually is they give you a parking page saying something like, website's coming soon, something like that. But that's forwarded. That's the domain you type in and it goes somewhere. It's forwarded always in every situation. So you can't get out of liability when it gets forwarded to someone else's content by your desire. You bring up automation at the beginning, and that has nothing to do with what went on here. Automation, as if you register pornogirls.net and some system randomly assigns it, and then it goes to NBA.com or the Mormon Tabernacle Church or something randomly, right? Not porno going to porno, unless you hired somebody to say, put the content that is most relevant to the alphabets that I provide you. And that's a possibility, but still it doesn't take you from culpability or responsibility for what you have directed your domain to contain. And in this case, it would be a forwarding to pornography. Okay, it's nice and simple. Shall we keep on? Now he's on number 2. Hope I cleared that one up.
You have said that I have led someone to fornication. These are not accusations, but rather you actually made that statement. So that is actually kind of lie that I'm talking about.
Now, you're just being silly right now, because what is the purpose of pornography? What was the purpose of Playboy? To read the articles before they stop nudity? You're insulting people's intelligence when you try and say, when I say it leads to fornication. In the digital era, in the modern era, in the old days when they talked about it in the Bible, they didn't have video. So fornication would have included, if you hired 2 people in the old days to have sex in front of you, you go to a brothel and you start masturbating while watching them. That qualifies fornication, I believe. And I think that most people believe that. I'm certain, I'm happy to be corrected by someone, let's say Sister Sunshine, but I think fornication encompasses the situation where you watch people fornicating and you have some form of participation in it, which would be exactly the situation where you watch pornography and you join the pair, or the more than the pair, right? Because in one of your situations, I think the chat rooms had like 3 or 4 people in the window. So your claim here is I'm lying because I can't provide you with particular names of people who were led to fornication. I would submit that the whole purpose of pornography is to arouse and to have people masturbate with those people, not in person in the form of what you did, but in a third-party way, and it is a sinful act. Certainly, you are not trying to say that masturbating to pornography is a biblical acceptable act. If you are, you can let me know, and we'll see. Sister Sunshine says, fornication, adultery, homosexuality all fall under the umbrella of sexual immorality. So yeah, that it's a different type of sexual immorality. If fornication is not the right word, I mean it's sexual immorality that is happening. It's nice and simple. So I think we've gone there. Let's see.
You asked yourself, or I don't know what you're asking, 5 o'clock in the morning. I wish you could just come directly to me and simply ask or whatever. I would tell you, or I even gave you and in the comment section where I said that I left the video for you and what you had lied.
It wasn't a private video, right? So tu quoque, you need to pronounce that right, by the way. It's quoque, tu quoque, which is not an argument, and I'm not making it's not a valid argument, but I'm not making an argument. I'm making a character assessment. You are a hypocrite with a capital H.
Since you seem to be irrelevant, touching base upon some
all right, we'll count that as an ad hom. Since you seem to be irrelevant, one.
Kind of domain forwarding and stuff, which is again quite irrelevant.
Well, the only way domain forwarding is irrelevant is if you admit that that's what you did. It's the whole relevance. It's exactly what you did, and it's the reason why we're talking about this at all, right?
This point. So I dug up what fornication meant. Fornication means noun, form, sexual intercourse between people not married to each other. So when you said I led someone to fornication, could you tell us who that someone is?
Well, I can't identify, and it's like I said, I view the participant who masturbates to people fornicating as a participant in the fornication. If you want clarification and you feel better with this, how about I say you led people to sexual immorality? That's the whole point of pornography, right? People don't watch pornography to entertain and talk, do they? I don't think so. I mean, do you?
Or if that's more than one, could you actually tell us or tell me just whom I led to fornication?
Anyone who came to the site.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyone who came to your domain. Anybody who typed in pornogirls.net X video, they're not looking for G, they're not looking for PG-13, as I said in my last video. They're looking for X. You have helped the prurient interest. You advance the prurient interest of those people looking for naughty stuff. It's not rocket science.
My point stands that you are lying.
It's not a lie. If it's anything, it's using an improper word, using fornication instead of sexual immorality. Well, why don't we just focus on sexual immorality?
Bearing false witness, and you're slandering me.
That's false witness and slander. You're doing it.
No. If you were to say it's like masturbate, which is kind of irrelevant.
Okay.
I looked up.
He brings up masturbate, and it's kind of irrelevant. It's sexual immorality, buddy.
Again, what the masturbate means. And
you looked up masturbate?
To stimulate one's own genitals for sexual pleasure. Okay?
Yeah, I knew that.
That's not obviously fornication, which kind of reminds me. On the other hand, Bruce told me that.
See, I heard, and it's totally irrelevant.
people, whether you believe me or not. So, please, if I had led anyone to fornication, please let me know. Otherwise, uh, you are a liar. You probably need a big apology to me.
Okay, here's this. A big apology to you, Sam, for using the word fornication. I should have said you've led people to sexual immorality. Is that better?
Because even though no matter how much you think high or low of me, I have certain messages to give. And if you are being ad hom and personally attacking with
Nobody's ad homing. You call people idiots, you call people retards, you call people a laundry list of ad homs. And if you can show me where I called you anything ad hom, when I say pornographer, it fits the definition. And I already told you why. You are no longer a pornographer, as far as I know, but you were when you had your domains that attracted prurient interest in people, and it led to advertisements for pornography. And those advertisements were pornographic.
lies, fake crack, for example.
Okay, wait, Sister Sunshine saying, I didn't see your question. What was your question? Is it if a person redirects a porn domain? Oh, here we go. If a person redirects a porn domain URL to a YouTube page who is harmed, who is harmed, how and why? Someone could have a page pointing to my channel, and if they didn't tell me, I would be totally unaware. Well, if it affects your, there's a lot of ways you could be harmed. If for instance, if I could prove that I lost a client because they searched for me and found affiliation with pornogirls.net, or if I was fired from my situation as a worship leader at the church that I lead worship at, these are all damages. I mean, I think the harm is presumed, wouldn't you say? If somebody directed a horrible pornographic name, alphabets.com or .net, to your YouTube channel, it has the potential to damage your reputation. But I think there's a presumption of it. In my opinion, in my legal opinion, there's a presumption of it. What happens? So you win, and that's the thing with any legal case. You can win a case against Sam. I could win a case against Sam easily with pornogirls.net pointing to my YouTube channel with my music, arguing that it damages my reputation and damages my reputation as a worship leader, damages my music, brings people to my page who aren't looking for that material. But the difficulty with that is then to prove like a monetary amount, because if you sue someone, and that's the crux of this, is the damage element is the thing that's lost. It's the same thing with Sam, and what makes his defamation claim so laughable to me is that a claim of defamation, you have to have the element of damage, and what's always asked in the end is, was there damage to reputation? And I'll kind of let that speak for itself as it relates to Sam, and you draw your own conclusions of reputation, right? All you need to do is do a Google search and then determine if a defamation, if calling him a pornographer somehow is hurt his reputation. Well, so hopefully I answered that. If they didn't tell you and you're totally unaware, your unawareness is, I mean, that's a good thing if you're unaware, because it probably means there's no damage there. But if the way you become aware is somebody comes to you and says, yeah, I went to this horrible name, or there was an advertisement on something for this horrible name. Somebody posted in the comments of a video about God and scripture that I watched, and it said, for more roar, go to this awful name, and then it went to your channel. Oof, what are you involved with, sister? Right? Then you find out about it, then you're not totally unaware, and there's a potential damage there if that person says, well, I really don't want to have anything to do with you if you're involved with that stuff. And you say, well, I'm really not. And that person happens to be the pastor of your church. They said, I don't care. It looks like you are, so we're not letting you back into the church. There's damage there if you like the church, right? So we continue.
Then, obviously my messages will be hindered, and I'm not saying also all my.
What she's asking is, how does this change from an annoying prank to a pornography domain name being linked in search results to a person? I still don't know what you mean there. It's both. I mean, it's the annoying prank is a pornography related domain name linked, right? How does it change from an annoying prank to pornography domain names? When it doesn't change, it always is something that will be presumptively damaging. The question is how much, and if you can't really prove that you lost anything from it, then nothing. And it's the best example I can give you in my bread and butter stuff is, somebody gets into an auto accident and gets rear-ended. It's a clear liability case. They were rear-ended, but let's say there was no damage and they weren't hurt, no damage to the car. So nothing. Sister Sunshine says, so if I Google Rob Reed, how does Google link the domain URL to you? I don't think that it does for sure, but I don't know. There are ways that it can be picked up by Google, I would imagine, if it is included in their list of websites. And then once they eat up and digest, let's say, pornogirls.net, and it tries to take all the content that it finds on a pornogirls.net redirection, it'll find the words Rob Reed. I don't think that I haven't done a Google search to see if it's in there, but it may be. And if it does appear high enough in there, then and it affects my businesses and everything else, as I said, it could be a problem. So Sister Sunshine says she's trying to understand how the internet or search engine makes that connection. Well, the way that a search engine like Google stores any domain, stores any website, is they go to a domain. That domain is given to them and it eats it, if you will. It takes all of the content that it finds and it affiliates that content with the domain. So if it finds the words Rob Reed on pornogirls.net, it then will propagate into the search keywords into Google's database. So let me see what she says. So if that's the case, then I revise my view that it's a harmless prank if it starts. Well, it's not that I'm not talking about the issue. I'm not talking about the issue of what he does with the pranking. I just think you asked me a question. I don't have issues other than it. I don't want my name affiliated with that stuff, and that's why Sam affiliates my stuff with it, right? Because he knows I don't want it. He knows that it bothers me. So is it a harmless prank? It depends on your perspective, Sister Sunshine, right? I mean, it's harmless if you don't feel harmed by it, right? But I do. I'm bothered by it. So it might be easier for you to think it's a harmless prank since it's not happening to you, maybe, or if maybe it is, and you're able to brush it off. I'm not sure. You can revise your view. It's a harmless prank if it starts linking the person's name. I think eventually it can. That'll be interesting to see.
Messages are all from me only. It could be some of them from God. So when you actually hinder that kind of things, then obviously you are committing, certain sin that to.
Here's the thing. Sam says, drink. The one who is harming your message, Sam, is you. The one who has harmed your message. The reason this came out again, because it originally came out and then you stopped it and then you thought you could get by doing it again and no one would know. You're harming your own testimony, your own witness. You're doing a great enough job for that. That when I simply acknowledge, in the same way that I think it was 1 Corinthians 5, when, let me just make sure, it's either that or 6, and I always confuse them, so I think I always make the mistake that's 1 Corinthians 6, and that's why I always go back. Yeah, It's 1 Corinthians 5, dealing with the case of incest, where a man is basically bedding down with his dead father's wife. It was proclaimed in the church. Now, YouTube's not church, but it was proclaimed. And we're instructed by Scripture not to have anything to do with people who are involved in blatant sexual immorality. And Paul was especially frustrated because it was that particular church that those people went to that were just keeping a blind eye to it all. And that was a bad thing. So don't talk about me truthfully saying that you were a pornographer with your domains that pointed to pornography as hurting your testimony. Maybe your testimony will be like, if you came out and said, I made a mistake, that's what I'd love to hear. You said, I made a mistake. I did do these things that Rob is saying. Then I could say, all right, look, he's contrite. Yeah, I mean, he's apologizing, and that's a repentance thing, which you talk about as being important. And then it's easy for me to go, okay, then I think I could listen to a message that he has from God. I'd love to hear him tie in how God influenced how God influenced you to stop doing what you were doing. Certainly it was with some help, like Sabella. Sabella had to do some convincing to get you to stop pointing pornographic content to Pokemon.net. And I'm thankful that she did. I'm thankful that you listened. But if there's nothing wrong with it, then why aren't you still doing it? All right? Why aren't your managers, as you say, still doing it? Why are your managers, as you say, pointing pornogirls.net to me? They're not. It's you doing it because you want to hurt me, want to hurt my feelings. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but it's not something, as I said, I've told you before, that I want to have any affiliation with. And that should make sense, being as I'm a Christian and a worship leader at a church and an attorney. I don't need to have pornogirls.net affiliated with me at all, right? Sister Sunshine says, abstain from sexual immorality, that each one of you know how to control his own body in holiness and honor, not in the passion of lust like the Gentiles who do not know God. Ideally, Sister Sunshine would like for Sam to leave all the domain stuff behind. Sure, ensure whatever company he's using to dump the bad domains and go only. He's not using any company. He's just, what happens when you register a domain is you get an annual. If you haven't paid for multi-years, you get an annual bill. It says you want to keep doing it. Yeah. And if you go to most of his domains now, they went to where they went like a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. Before, at the turn of the year, maybe to make money, Sam changed his mind and then he got caught with it. Now, I would say, if you don't feel there's anything wrong with it, Sam, just do it, right? Don't be mad at me for preventing you from having that income source. It's still available. You have the domains. You make a comment on here that I remember. Maybe I'll leave it at that. Although I don't think we got to the third point yet. So let's keep going if we can try and get to the third point.
To block off messages to be heard to certain people, right? With your lies. So the reason why I'm doing this also is because you're asking. It seems like you didn't even know what you just lied. I
didn't lie, Sam.
Like you're addressing me directly, but rather you're just backbiting with a whole bunch of people, which was unbelievable. So
backbiting with a whole bunch of people is unbelievable. It's what you do, Sam. Again, tu quoque, attacking your character. Do not have a better character and not point fingers at people for doing things that you do. It's gossip. I've already admitted to it. It's drama. It's the reason people are here right now. The 7 people are here. Very few people, but people who are into this drama and people that will end up watching this. It's what attracts it. It's why you are here, Sam, pretending not to be, right? You're here in at least 3 or 4 socks, and I suppose Bill is probably here too. Old regular Baptist Redux. I'm assuming that is Bill, or maybe that's Ryan. I don't know. Let's try and get to that third point. We're 9 minutes in.
So how did I just lead anyone to fornication? Okay, that is the second thing. Now, the third last thing is that you have said that you have hinted that I'm kind of wealthy, or I have a lot of money from this adult traffic money or whatever. Bottom line, as I told.
Okay. You're saying that I've hinted. Well, you're not claiming that I said. I've always said, I've reiterated what you have said, always, that you say you have not made money from these. I don't believe it. And like I said earlier, if that is true, you probably have a lawsuit against the people you hired. I don't know why that wouldn't concern you, because nobody buys domains and pays domains for other people to make money. You've indicated before as if you're some kind of generous person that you like, I don't take money from it. They forwarded, those people, whoever they are, forwarded it to the bad stuff. They got money. I didn't. I only get money if I sell it. That's what you say here. You get money if you sell it, but the only reason that you do affiliate links is to make money. Otherwise, what's the point? That's why you got into domains. You've said it before. And here we go. Sam says in a sock, Mr. Reed, why do you blame Sam for what others did? Because he owned, and this is another issue, and I think he gets to this. This is important, and maybe it'll help if I'm sure that I could look it up. We've talked about this before too. Assuming that Sam is not lying, okay? Let's assume that he's not when he says that others are doing the pornography work for him. There is a doctrine called respondeat superior in law that says, let the master answer. It's a doctrine that a party is responsible for and has vicarious liability for the acts of their agents. So on a legal basis, and as well as a moral, and especially from a Christian responsibility, you do not lose responsibility for buying pornogirls.net, maybe when you weren't saved when you got it. But after you're allegedly saved, you continue with it and allow people to use it and place pornography. Now, the big question is for you, Sam, what happened between November of last year, where you could go to the Wayback Machine and see something, I think Pokemon.net. We can go to November Wayback Machine of 2018, and we can see that it went to Ion Dome bracelets. Something happened between November of 2018 and January, February, March of this year, when it was discovered that it started pointing to pornography. Something happened. Did your managers not tell you? I highly doubt that your managers, after years and years, all of a sudden switched and didn't tell you. But maybe that's the case. But here's why I don't believe that, because you didn't start at that point. You didn't say, when I came out and said, Pokemon.net, oh my gosh, and Bruce and I came out and said, look what this is doing. Look what's happening here. You just came out with not, I didn't do that. Oh my gosh, what's going on there? Pokemon.net is referring children potentially to monster cartoons having anal sex and various other forms of sexual immorality. I need to get to the bottom of that. Instead, you said, one, that's not pornography. You went through a whole series that it wasn't pornography. That's where you started. So the starting point for someone, if you didn't know about it, would have been like, wow, oh my gosh, this is awful, right? So that's why I don't believe your claim that others did it. You made a decision, obviously, clearly. There's no other choice. Or correct me. Tell me, Sam, who did. Go ahead and tell me now and change your story that your managers went out on their own and you told them and gave them a severe tongue lashing. I would if I were you. file a lawsuit against them. Don't ask me to do it. But if a group of people used your domain to get affiliate links and money from those links, and you had no knowledge of it, that's theft. You got a great lawsuit there. Certainly better than your defamation lawsuit against me that you're claiming. Sue your managers if it's true. I don't believe it's true because you would have to reformulate how everything went down. And if you recall, Sabella fortunately came in and had to convince you to stop pointing Pokemon.net to pornography, and it was only after that that it didn't. And it took a couple days. And that indicated to me very clearly that you weren't sitting in a situation where you go, I didn't know about that, and I think that's awful. If you didn't know about it, you would have said, I didn't know about it, and oh, this is cool. I'm making money off these great links. But it's not porn, in my opinion, because they're cartoons or something like that. You could have said that, but you never said that. Maybe it's a situation where you felt that you needed to defend yourself against the attacks that I was making that were truthful. And you were upset that I didn't go private and that you wanted to save face. Maybe that's the case. You could say that too. But don't say that the things that I have said here are defamatory, because they're not. It's the truth. You own domains. Those domains pointed to pornographic content. Publishing of pornography is pornographer. So now back to the third point where you said I hinted that you were wealthy. Hinted is not the same as saying it. I never have stated that. The only thing I've stated is I don't believe your claim that you didn't make money at any time. You said you didn't make 1 red cent is your quote on any of these links. And that makes no sense. Might make sense with Sam Seeds, because you said that you didn't make money on Sam Seeds when you had an affiliate link to a pot seed selling website in the United Kingdom, which was how this all started in 2011 when I found that. And that is believable, because people aren't going to type, somebody's not going to go to their computer and go, I want some pot seeds. Let me type Sam Seeds. Maybe Korean, because we've talked about that before, how Sam, it's interesting if for those who are watching and don't know, Sam in Korean is actually one of the nicknames for marijuana. So it's basically marijuanaseeds.com, but it's the Korean word for it, spelled out in English. So maybe somebody, maybe that's why you got it, but I think most Koreans would probably use the Korean language in the domain, probably more likely than not. So yeah, your third point is that I lied and said you were making a lot of money out of it. I've only reiterated what you said. And I think it doesn't make, and it makes sense, like I said, with Sam Seeds, because people aren't liable to type that. It doesn't make sense with pornogirls.net, and it especially, you're insulting people's intelligence when you say you didn't make any money on xvideo.net that pointed to porno chat rooms, the kind of chat rooms, webcams, where a person could pay a woman to do stuff watching her on cam. That's what it pointed to, the main thing that it pointed to. And I highly doubt if Reed, if a picture of me, and I'm not that attractive, look at that, a picture of me with next to a pretty girl masturbating, and you don't see her parts, you only see her face and she's moaning and doing whatever. If that can generate 2,000 plus views, you're insulting our intelligence to say that you made no money for clicking of links to xvideo.net when it contained pornography. You would have gotten a lot more than 2,000 clicks. Stands to reason. Somebody that immediately came to Reed channel that you created and clicked those videos, there were a lot of people that were pretty disappointed when they went there. They wouldn't have clicked. They would have moved on to something else, right? So Sam is here, or he's admitting that he's here now. Hi, Sam. Hi, Robbie. Why do you say I published when I didn't? I've explained it earlier. You say that you weren't here. To say, you know, just in case you aren't those guys, the best example I can give that I gave before to make it quick is if I tweeted that you were a pornographer on my Twitter account, and then Bruce came out and he retweeted it, that's a publishing. I published the original tweet, the retweet by Bruce, and this is just, it's I'm using it as an example. I don't even think Bruce has a Twitter. The retweet by Bruce is a publishing too. So when you have a domain that you have people like narcosxxx.com that created a pornographic game of cartoons, and you took your domain, Pokemon.net, and it pointed to an advertisement for that. They publish, you republish. It's publishing, still publishing. Even if it's republishing, publishing is making it available. And I also made the example of an LA Times. If I take an LA Times, I cross out LA Times, and it's an actual newspaper, and I put Rob Reed News, and I hand it to somebody. LA Times published it. I changed it, put a new name on it, and I give it to someone else. I have published it. Okay. I didn't produce it. So you need to know the difference between those two names. But as you said yourself in the definition of pornographer, it was a person who produces, and the key word is or publishes. You understand now? Hopefully you do. Hey, Bruce, alphabets are changing in the Bible. Yeah, I have something interesting in the pipeline. Anyway, I don't want to get into it so I don't blow the potential surprise. But anyway, back to responding to superior. I think it was asked before, why would one of the Sam Socks came in earlier and asked why he would be responsible for what other people did, because you're responsible for what your agents do. So if somebody, one of your managers, Sam, that you allege, they published on one of your domains a bunch of defamatory statements, or let's say a threat to the president or something, you would also be responsible because you're the owner of that stuff. Okay, you're the buck stops with you is the easiest way to say that. So hopefully you understand that. And I think that I pretty much covered those three. I think that's where he went there. Sam, do you have any other questions that you didn't get to hear since you're here? There's 9 people here. So when Sam came in, it didn't change. It's probably Sam, one of the sock accounts Sam has could be this one. I think your presumption is your grave, Rob. Yas Servant 711 came out when Yas Servant discovered the pot seeds. So that's clearly Sam. Let's see. If there's nothing else, I think we pretty much covered it. Maybe somebody would want to come in. Maybe we can make a few minutes of somebody potentially coming in. Now, Matt says Sam is not welcome here. He's welcome here. Sam is not welcome. Daggone Swamp, mute yourself.
Sorry.
How are you? How you doing? Can you hear me now? Now you muted and everything. You've turned down the sound of everything now. I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm back now. Sorry, I had my volume up too loud and everything was coming through.
No, that's okay. Let's see. Sam's in here, so let no offense. Let me just take you out for a sec, so I can have. Let's see if Sam, how much Sam has watched. Stay there though. You can sit and watch. Listen. All right. Hello, Sam.
Hey, Rob, are you going to kick me again?
It depends. I might kick you if you're not getting.
Why do you censor people much?
Say again?
Why do you censor people? I made a comment and my comments get deleted.
I'm not even in I'm not in the chat room at all.
Oh, now you're not responsible. I thought you said that you should be responsible for all the things going on.
Wait a minute. Are
Wait
you
a
making
minute.
something up? Because
So like, why do you allow people doctor up
can
my
you
name?
stop talking for a sec, Sam? Let's address each issue. This is why I'm glad you're here. But I can at least. Oh, and he left. He left as soon as I, because I'm not gonna allow you to talk over me if you ask a question and say something. You see what he just did, Bruce. I'm gonna bring you in, and Sam, you're welcome to come back in. But I need to talk especially when you lie. You just came in and lied and said, I guess it was to try and make a point, and said I deleted your comments from the chat room, that I'm censoring. Nobody in here is a moderator, so no one can delete your stuff. I make sure that there's no moderation here, so no one deleted you. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's go back. So what he was trying to say is, yeah, I would be responsible if I had people as moderators and they deleted stuff. But then I don't know what you're saying now. There's nothing legal there. You're triggered, Sam. There. I need you to calmly think about this. I would rather you came in and said, Rob, I'm sorry for calling you a liar. Rob, I'm sorry that all this stuff happened. Rob, I realize that it hurt my witness. Rob, I'm not going to do it anymore. Hold on, Bruce. You're muted, so let me unmute you. Or maybe you're muted. I can't unmute you.
Let me practice. Rob, I'm sorry.
That's a start. Good start.
Yeah. No, it's been kind of comical lately, like on my late night hangouts, just because, but I don't know. I'm growing tired of this whole thing like you're dealing with, where you have to kick them because you can't even talk.
Well, yeah. And I don't want you and him to fight with her. I want to clear the air here and make sure. So stay there. Sam is back.
Fight with him.
But no, Sam, before I bring you back in, that if you make an accusation or ask a question, I'm going to answer it. And here, I can't control it when it's on your channel. But here, I'm going to be, as you say, a control freak. Because if you ask a question or you say something that is a lie, I'm going to want to respond to it. So, Bruce, you'll be back in a sec. And we welcome Sam back. How are you, Sam?
I'm going to give you one last chance.
Okay.
Why do you censor me here? You're talking about me. I leave a comment. And my comment.
When did you leave a comment? Where did you leave a comment?
Scroll up, why don't you?
Okay.
I made a comment both with Uncle Sam and Thick Shades, and one of your mods have deleted my comments.
I don't have a mod, Sam. There's no mod in here.
You don't have a mod at the live chat?
No. Nobody's modded, just me. And all I've been doing.
Well, apparently everyone's mod in your chat, man. Do you not even see?
No.
You want me to share a screen with you?
Yeah, share the screen. Do I have mod?
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Okay. Maybe I forgot.
You don't even know that you gave to other people your mod and stuff?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, well, here
show me who.
You gotta click the screen.
Okay.
You see this?
Everybody's modded. Jeez, yeah. All right.
Like all mods, man. And look at this, man. This was deleted.
All right. Well, wait, move it back down. You said, "Why are you deleting my comments, Robbie?"
Right. So this was deleted. I mean, obviously, you can see my comment because.
All right. Well, why did you? Who is the one that deleted it? Did you get?
Why don't you scroll up, man? Why don't you scroll up and check it out yourself? You should know yourself, man.
No, I just want. Well, all right. There you go. You got it. Stop deleting Thick Shades. All right,
and also, you might want to check your block list because there are ghost mods deleting and blocking, and making irrelevant things complicated.
All right. Well, here it's fine. What I'd like for you to do is address the subject at hand. Why don't we talk about that?
So let's start from the last one. I said I don't get paid a one red cent, but how do you know that I get paid?
I don't.
Then why do you say that I do?
I never have said that you do. I said that I would figure that you would, because what's the point, right?
You figure.
Uh-huh.
You're the one saying that I'm wealthy and I gotta share wealth.
Never said that. Show me a clip.
So you're saying that, are you agreeing now
Hold
that
on.
I do not?
I'm moving you from the stream so that I can talk. Let me make sure that I add. He left. You can come back in. So the issue that you're talking about, I may have just forgot, because you just frazzling me, Sam. But I need to be it, because then you talk over me. What the hell are you talking about? Bruce, are you still here? Do you remember what he just said?
Oh, wait.
You weren't listening. He's got me so frazzled I can't even remember. Oh, it was about money, I guess. Why do I say that he makes money? Why do I say that I think that he makes money? Is because I never said that he did. I said that it makes sense that he would have, because there's no other reason to have affiliate links. And as I said before, if he's being truthful, and I don't think he is, he has a great lawsuit against the people who are managing his domains.
Well, if he were to say that he doesn't make any money, I would have to question why he does it at all. And now he could say they're aimed at people's YouTube channels. And I want to add praise to the Lord, but I know I'm getting tired of that, and I'm possessed, and my daddy's the devil, the whole thing. But the whole point is, I mean, it's kind of fun to play along with. But when you get serious, right, that's where I noticed it all goes to heck. You can't get serious. As soon as you get serious, it's like.
Well, I wanted him to. I wanted him to come in and address the stuff I've talked about. I know he's been in here because the socks have been in here. And so, he's usually in here pretty quickly when I have something go on. And he's just obfuscating, is the fancy word for it, to go. First off, he comes in to talk about moderators and stuff, and to get me to flub, because I forgot that I made people moderators in here.
You mind if I bring something up? Last night I noticed, and a number of people were there. And by the way, people in my chat were saying, couple guys were saying, talking about how their whole bodies would get they'd start shaking and stuff. And that's when I realized, this is bad. It's a dang shame when guys are saying that their bodies are shaking and stuff. That's how mad they were getting. And I thought, wow, man, I don't like seeing this,
Well, for me, it's like, it's
not good.
It's blood pressure thing that
sure.
Me.
Absolutely.
And he the whole thing that says, like, why aren't you taking this private, Rob? It's like, well, because I'm responding to a public video, isn't it?
If you try to take it private, he lies to you. That's what kills me.
Well,
and here's the thing that really killed me last night. I asked him about ham.im, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said that only a person like me would make that out, that he was making fun of her for being like, I don't know. Wait, it's part of many of our lives, right? Why, if the person's too old, or if they're young, they need to listen to the older person. He makes fun of young people. He makes fun of old people. He makes fun of, I never heard him making fun of skinny people, but heck, he's calling somebody ham. It's like, and he says that that's my fault for thinking that it had to do with her being heavy. So if you don't mind me asking, what do you think? Why would somebody call somebody ham.im? Like, what in the world would that mean?
It's why would somebody register it unless it had some meaning, right? It's talking about her weight.
It's ignorant. It's cruel. It's mean. It's just downright evil. And
what's worse is
to me, I don't take it as silly. I know, and that was an argument part of last night. The disagreement is, I take it as like purposely hurtful to someone, that just really hurt them. And I think this is very uncool. It's not uncool, it's evil. Totally.
Somebody who has talked about being suicidal in the last couple of months too.
It's totally hurtful. Well, that's Sabella he calls ham, and then to the other person who Sabella was trying to help, he calls her ooh. It's like, what a bunch of freaking garbage, and then aiming porn domains at people's channels. And then we end up arguing whether that really hurts people or not. I'm like, holy heck, not everybody's equipped to deal with that, or should they have to? It's just not a good thing to do with people.
Well, here's Francis Rude says, and I don't know what this means. Maybe you can make sense. I'm just wondering what Bram says about this. Who's Bram?
Brahmin.
Who?
Brahmin. It's a it's a Hindi thing, I think. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know who Bram is.
What are you talking about, Francis? Ram? I have no idea. And Cisco says, how can he take things private when he's blocked him on everything? Yeah, but the thing is, DB, you don't claim to be a Christian anyway. That the take things private is a Christian stance, and that's what we're supposed to do. There's no doubt about it. And this drama-filled YouTube world and war as it goes, it's not a great medium for Christianity. But what I do want to say is, if I can say one more thing, Bruce, before you say. Regarding private, what else can you say about? Do you remember what else happened with the private?
Well, I remember trying to go private, and you just get told you're a liar. You're a liar.
Do you remember what happened when Bill and Sam and you and me, we went to a private chat and
got recorded and put public. Yes.
Right. So Sam recorded it, and so it's like you can't. You go private with him, and you better make sure that you don't say anything, you don't be as sincere, so he can try, because whatever you say, he could potentially try and spin it. And I'm trying to remember what he spun the last time. I think he spun something like I said, like, I never said something, and then he found an old clip where I sort of said what I said I never said. I can't remember what it was, and he got that from the private chat, because I legitimately didn't believe I said it. I think it might have been I don't remember what it was. It wasn't pornographer, or maybe he claimed I did, and I don't know. But the thing with pornographer, like I said, I think it came out after that. I looked up the definitions and I said it's true. I didn't say anything wrong.
I never said pornographer until I kept pushing that you called me a pornographer. You called me a pornographer. On and on. He'd make all these videos. Finally, I said, okay, fine, you're a pornographer. Then he says, see, I told you. It's that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, this is ridiculous. I
do want to qualify that, as far as I know, he's not a pornographer anymore. He stopped when it was exposed. And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'd like to hear you say is you're sorry for it. That's all I want to hear. And you're sorry for trying to condemn me as a liar for telling truth. That's the problem. And in all three circumstances, I mean, I did admit, and maybe Sam didn't see that, if those aren't his socks, and I don't know if you saw it, Bruce, calling him a pornographer is unfair, in the sense that, if I'm going to be sincere about it, it's not a defamatory lie, because it is truth according to definition, but it's unfair because it lumps him in with like Larry Flint, and he's not Larry Flint. He didn't create this stuff, right? So it's unfair in that sense, because when somebody hears pornographer, they instantly think somebody like Larry Flint, who creates it. Sam didn't create it. He just tried to make money off of links that would pay him for the referrals, or as managers, as he would say, if he didn't know about it, which I have a hard time believing. And if that was the case, he should be thanking you and me, wouldn't you think? We alerted him to his renegade managers. You're muted, by the way, so maybe you went somewhere. So yeah, that's what I would say. Is I'd say, Sam, if that's the case, you should be thanking us for alerting you, and then your manager's running amok, and maybe I can refer you to somebody who can refer you, or I can refer you to somebody that might handle your case if they're big enough. And Bruce said, be right back. So back to the comments. For 300 years after Jesus was crucified, I would be called a Christian. All right. If you're a follower of the way, then yeah, you have the same standard. Your same standard would be to go private with somebody who professes Christianity. I just think it's like I said, the last time that this happened, when this all started this year again, I was so taken aback at the fact that a children's toy trademark that my son was into. He's not into it anymore, and he's 12. So he's grown out of it. So the target market of these horrible pornographic images were under 12, right? That's what I can derive from that if my son's not into it anymore. I guess Frances left. She still hasn't explained what Bram is. And Samantha, oh, Samantha, you're referring to Sam, I guess. I'm not going to get into that. Sister Sunshine, see, this is what happens when you get into the drama. I don't know who this guy is. Anyone know who that is? I know who this guy is. Hi, David. I hope that's you. And I'd say hello. Matt L says maybe I should do a video on explaining doxing. I don't know if there's a lot to be said. I mean, it's you're violating somebody's privacy. It could hurt somebody. In my case, you know, when Sam had the Fludius Ignorantium channel, some of you might not know, and when this all went down in 2011 for the first time, the day after I had the infamous chat with Sam where it was revealed that I knew about xvideo.net and samseeds.com. When that was revealed, sorry, I was reading something else. When that was revealed, then this character, Fludius Ignorantium, uploads a video to his YouTube channel the day after this chat with the same title, something similar. Can't say, I'd have to look it up because I think I still have the old emails, because it was actually forwarded to me so I would know about it. Somebody sent it to Fludius Ignorantium, sent it to me. The original video was inviting Thick Shades for a brief chat, and Fludius Ignorantium created a video called inviting Roar for a quick chat or something like that. And it was a video that showed a Google map from my office to my home. Hold on one second. Okay, so yeah, that was clearly Sam, and I know it was, and I can prove it. And that kind of thing was hurtful because it happened at the same time as that chat, but also at the same time that I was helping about 120 YouTubers who were being threatened a lawsuit by a mighty wind. And I don't know if a mighty wind knew my home address, and I had received a death threat from one of the members of a mighty wind, and I think Sam did too, from the same guy. And because of that, I was very upset with that, and I flagged the video. This is what happened. It said inviting Rob Reed to a chat, and I flagged the video, and YouTube took it down because it had identified me and it used one of my pictures. Then what he did is he put like a thing. Ultimately, when YouTube stopped taking it down, he put something over my face, and that's when he called me Roar Reed, I think, for the first time. And that was awful because I had a death threat, and now people could potentially be directed to where I lived at the time. So that was pretty crazy. And the only time that it went down, and this is the complete truth, again, I'm saying nothing but the truth, is when Sam needed some legal help from me and asked if there was anything that he could take down, because I guess he had a little soft spot on a particular day, and I said, I'd really like it if you take that video down. And within 20 minutes it was down, right? So that's where a lot of the anger came from. if I'm honest. It came in that regard, and I'm being honest, is when he pulled that and there was my family became involved with this, then it was like, whoa, that's a big, big, big deal. So I don't really have anything else to add. Hi, Sabella, is what I would say. Sister Sunshine says, I don't know who Graham is. It was Bram, B as in boy, RAM, that Francis put up. Sabella, yeah, that was before he also accused you of breaking up his marriage. That was pretty bad, but it was only in front. When he said that, that defamation that he made against me was only published to about 10 people. There were only about 10 people in the chat room. I think you were one of them, Sabella. Bill was one of them, and Pillbox, who I have no respect for. And when I tried in that private chat room of 10 alleged Christians, when I said, to try and bring peace, I asked to pray, and I started to pray in a small group, just 10 people. Pillbox kept muting me in the midst of my prayer. It's pretty hilarious. And everyone was just having a great big laugh who's allegedly Christian. And we're all supposed to be prayerful to God. That was another interesting moment that really shocked me. But I'll leave it at that. So let's see what Sister Sunshine. Whoever did that was absolutely wrong. Doxing. It was Sam, Sister Sunshine. That's not a. It's not. It was Sam because it had to be Sam because he had the ability to remove it within 10 to 20 minutes. And in fact, I think it was instant, that I recall now, because he wanted legal help, and I said I'd like for that to be removed, and it was instantly removed. All right, I think that I've beat this with a dead horse. The 3 points that were made by Sam. I'm going to now eat some dinner, and then we're going to actually get some exercise, which I greatly need. So God bless you all, the 9 that are in here now. And I hope that you have a pleasant rest of the evening. I'll probably see you sometime, maybe if Bruce sets up a chat, and I'll come in and Hey there. How you doing there, Bruce? I'm going to say good night.
Good night. You're going to die. No, I just came back and you're leaving already.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll start something. We're going to eat dinner, and then we're going to work out, and I'm going to try and get the blood pressure down, and hope that, if Sam wants to talk about this privately now, we can. But I don't think that, it's going to be fruitful, because he's still going to believe that my calling him a pornographer is slanderous. By definition, it's not. He's saying that when I say that pornography leads people to fornication, and that Sam led people to fornication by having pornography affiliated with his domain, because I cannot name specific names of people, and I'm simply making the presumption that that's what pornography is for, that he's saying that's defamatory.
Okay, well, I have to admit on that, right, that case, I heard a guy saying that a while back. A few people have said that. And it's kind of like I bring up then, and I brought up both of, let's say, Calvinists or Arminians, or let's just say Wesleyans, more commonly known. So if Calvinism is evil, and Arminians or Wesleyans are even worse, or whatever the case is, however you see it, right? One of them is bad, apparently. And so if that's the case, well, then show me one that works, destroyed their life.
Exactly.
And then it's like, well, we see that's the whole point. And so, like, if you're dragging somebody into pornography and you say, show me somebody, it's like, well, of course I can't.
What's the purpose of it? It's like,
you want to see how big I actually am? Look at how small this cup looks in my hands.
You're pretty big. But it's like owning an adult bookshop, being a Christian that owns an adult bookshop, and say, how am I leading people to pornography? Prove it. And if I only had the papers to say, well, look, I know you're the owner of this building that contains all this stuff. Well, show me proof.
Well, actually, you'd have to hunt down somebody that it's affected. People going in and out or whatever, that means nothing. You have to actually show somebody that it's changed, ruined their life. And that's where, and that was, to me, that's the comedy At least as I see it. And I don't even call it comedy and satire. It's sick. But the thing with you pointed down, I'm trying to think.
Oh, I just said Sam's just going to keep lying till he wears himself out, Rob.
Yeah, the thing that got me was that I couldn't help, and he blames it on Ryan, but I'm the one who actually put that together. The video with the footage that somebody put up of him yelling at homosexuals and their activity and such, and to put that over top of the gay erotico parking page, I'd call it a domain.
This homosexual though popping up right there. Do you see him?
Yeah, but you have to admit that's funny though. I mean, he say, well, it's 2002 when this happened. It's like, well, but it'll still say it didn't go anywhere. So what happened when you clicked on the links? Where did it go? How can you say that you weren't? In other words, he's dragging them into it at one point, and then he's screaming at them that they're going to hell. And I go, and he says for activity. It's like, well, then why would you give them free porn and free this and that, or not free, whatever, direct them to porn?
You know, the only thing that can be done in response to that. Do you want to know?
It's just.
We'll leave on the. There's only
one
thing I think that might be effective, and it's this. I think that's pretty much all that can be done.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad at this point, and I'm not trying. I think a number of people have tried to say, hey, look, if you remove the domains from people's YouTube channels, people will forget about it. Maybe not completely. Eventually,
forget about it. You know you're going to type gayerotico.com in a year just to see where it's going.
Well, sure, but my point is it will fade away to some degree. But as long as you have it aimed at people's YouTube channels, you're going to keep people being ticked off. They're going to talk about it. They're going to talk about it regardless, but I think it would fade slowly. But I think it would fade if he'd stop doing that. And then he argues about all the reasons he has for aiming them there. You know, like he aimed the one at you, and then he has one at Brett Keane and me and Ryan and this guy and that guy and Cisco and on and on. I don't know how many he does.
Well, he stopped mine.
Whatever.
He stopped mine because he said that, he brought it back because he needs to teach me a lesson. So that, you know, if I was going to court, that's the worst thing he could have said, because he's admitting to intention. He's admitting to desire to cause harm. If he harmed me, and this is for you, Sam, don't be so reckless with that, because maybe you'll get somebody that you're going to end up harming and that is willing to sue you. So that, I think that the last thing that I'll say on the subject, and Bruce, I imagine you'll set up a chat. Maybe you could talk about it. But thank you, everyone, for joining this chat. God bless Daniel. Sorry I didn't see you till later. And Sabella will give us the last word. As Sylvester said, he is a well-known troll on YouTube, and everyone knows he's a troll. Admittedly, though, too, I think. So hopefully this clarifies everything. Bruce, you take care, all right, buddy?
You too. Thanks. Good night.
Talk to y'all later.
Take care. See y'all.